Extroverts who ask others "Why are you so weird? What kind of response are you looking for?" I am the quiet one and have asked my extrovert friend about this. For her, it hurt her anxiety telling her that I am not taking because I am mad at her. She is very uncomfortable with silence. We have both gotten better at being what the other needs in this regard. We have mutual friend who is also an introvert, and we can sit and read for an afternoon and have a lovely time together while the extrovert anxiously eyes us lol. I was raised by librarians. One of my favorite surgeons is very quiet. Story told about him by another surgeon when he was a resident. Resident kept trying to ask about his kids, his holidays, making chit chat. Surgeon says, "I'm comfortable with uncomfortable silences." End of conversation. One of my now close friends is very quiet and introverted. For years, I thought he did not like me at all. Eventually I figured out how to communicate with him. He is someone who actually thinks before he speaks, which is surprisingly rare. Like you would ask a question and he would not answer, so I would assume he was ignoring me out of dislike, when in all actuality, he thinks deeply about things before giving an opinion, so you may wait a few minutes in silence before he responds. Once I figured this out, we started to have a true friendship. I am an extrovert who has recently taught himself to listen more than speak. I am a contractor and I just knew that I had a tendency to dominate conversation and had to make the conscious effort to shut the fuck up and listen to my customers. It has affected my entire life in a positive way. I hate when they follow it up with a command to smile. Why are you quiet? Smile. A witch stole the top 15 decibels of my voice. If you can retrieve them, I'll give you a reward. But to remain silent and be thoughtful, then open your mouth and remove all dormito. Why are you so loud? I think there is a common misconception that introverts are rude and standoffish. It is hard for some people to be social, and that is perfectly okay. Maybe just a smile and a friendly I don't know. That is just the way I am should work. I was in a long relationship with someone who could not stand silence and would never stop talking. This resulted in a complete breakdown of communication because what was being said was always full and never quality. I speak when there's something to say and expect to be listened to. Some people speak as a performance and don't understand why others don't perform the same way. When there's constant talking, information is not exchanged because talking just becomes constant empty noise. Introversion and extroversion are not the same as noisy and quiet. It is entirely possible to be a quiet extrovert. I just came to say, please stop asking people why they are quiet, they are shy or nervous, or worried or something. Ask them a question they can answer. Like, what do you think? Or did you see? But enough about me. How are you finding? What did you do at the weekend? What have you planned for this weekend? How's your dog doing? You made a mistake asking Reddit this question. We're all introverts. Just trying to make sure we didn't do something to offend, cause fellow extroverts get quiet when they're mad/frustrated. Frankly, I think there are various reasons. My parents ask that of my daughter, misguidedly but with good intentions, to encourage her to talk. As another poster noted, they would be better off asking something specific about school or something. Someone once said to me, "You started singing in front of the whole group today, but you're always so quiet." Me, yep, quiet doesn't equal shy, common misconception. Finally, some extroverts just don't understand introverts. I've had a couple of instances where people actually got angry at it, even close to fisticuffs. I think they see it as a threat or a slight of some kind, maybe because they can't read the person, which makes them uncertain. In any situation, it's a terrible question to ask. I had an uncle who was like that. One day he went to a barber shop with my dad, and when the barber asked my uncle how he wanted his haircut, he replied in absolute silence. There seems to be a common misconception that extroversion equals social and introversion equals quiet. Introversion and extroversion, at least in a psychological sense, is more about whether engaging with your external environment decreases or increases your energy respectively. Hence you can have some very social, bubbly people that are introverts. However, after a period of socializing, those introverts will want to recluse away from those environments to recover energy. Also note that it is generally argued to be a sliding scale, so it is likely everyone can kind of empathize to some extent with being an introvert and being an extrovert. I would even personally argue that anecdotally the trait can be quite temperamental. Depends on how well I know them and what we are doing. Most of the time I just am looking to be sure they are doing okay, or in the case of a party or something aren't bored, but just pretending to be fine / staying for appearances. If we could just set up a code word or even look for that check-in, that would be good enough. I just want to be for realizes sure they are okay. This is going to be buried, but whatever. People should stop blaming extroverts as a whole for the tactlessness of some people. It's not an extrovert thing, it's not an introvert thing, it's a thing of indiscreet people in general. That's it. From a fellow introvert. I think extroverts often mistake silence as a sign someone nice not having a good time. Some people who ask it are just being assholes, but I think often it can also just be reassuring that the other person is not miserable. As an extrovert, I'm quiet when I feel uncomfortable or don't want to be in a particular setting. So if I see someone else acting so, I usually ask a brief "are you okay?" or "are having a good time?" which I think is a bit more polite. A lot of people ask me don't you just talk to people. What could go wrong? And I guess that is true, but I am always afraid I am going to do something weird and fuck up and look really stupid, and it happens a lot, to be so that is why for me. As someone who has had social anxiety my whole life and was effectively mute outside my home until age 12, people who ask this question are my least favorite type of person. People ask that because they think that if someone's quiet it means they don't like them. It's insecurity. They're fishing for the quiet person to soothe their ego by making an excuse. Or possibly coping with their own discomfort by spreading it around. Asking someone "why are you so quiet?" is a surefire way to make them uncomfortable. I don't even ask anymore because I understand that conversation just isn't for everyone, even if it is just to pass the time at work. Honestly, I am looking for any type of response. Are you having a bad day? Do you want me to shut up? Do you just have nothing to add? Do you hate me? As an extrovert, I am just looking to get a full understanding of the situation, so I don't fucking embarrass myself. My husband is very introverted, and I understand his cues completely, so it is not an issue. Introverts are just so mysterious. Tell me everything. But also I respect the fact that you don't want to. People do this shit to me all the time. Like Ariao or Faluiato or Ariao donut same who. Like no fucking shit. What do you expect me to say? Do you just feel the need to berate me for not verbally engaging you constantly? Extrovert here. I find that question to be highly rude. In a situation as such I would say something like "are you doing alright? Or how are things? Or try to spark general conversation and pick up on signs. If someone does not feel like talking they will let you know with tone and body language. There was a time when I was young, the skies were bluer, the grass was greener. The oceans were filled with fish and not plastic. The forest did not burn, and the food and water did not poison. Why am I so quiet you ask? When I was young, a cat got my tongue. I am an extrovert with anxiety. It is so much fun. I ask that question cause I am terrified that I am annoying the person, they are not interested, or they just don't like me. We ask why you are quiet cause to us, when we are quiet we are not involved, and can make us feel bored and left out. It is not, at least in my case, a shaming function to get you to talk more. it more we might be interested in what you have to say and want to make sure you are having fun. It could be worded better, but then sometimes you sound like a boss with phrases like Jim, what are your thoughts on the mop terror, or Rebecca seems quiet, I am wondering what your opinion is. Some of the best answers I have heard that at least helps my anxiety have been I'm just enjoying listening to the conversation or no, or I'm not familiar with this topic, but I am glad to be learning new terms, so. Because I am. If you knew me, this would not be a question. Dude, sometimes I just want to sit and be silent. People who feel the need to fill every bit of silence are frustrating sometimes. I'm hunting warbits. One good reply is I'm not quiet, I just can't control the volume of my voice. But to make it funny you have to start talking very quietly and end in a piercing scream. If you want us to talk, find out what we're interested in, and we'll talk for hours. Trying to get us to talk by shaming us for not talking, yeah, that's not going to work at all. I have never had an extrovert ask me why I'm so quiet. I'm not sure they notice.